Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Profit Plays YouTube channel. Today is Monday, August 12th, and I'm back looking at the Monday slate of games in the MLB. We're going to be looking at the Cleveland Guardians going up against the Chicago Cubs. First play of the day, and the best play of the day is going to be a match between the Atlanta Braves and the San Francisco Giants. Three total player props today, and the two best player props being towards the end of the video. Hope everybody enjoys their Monday, and let's break down some ball. All right, guys, let's take a look at the picks from Sunday night. Really wish I can switch the graphic plays of the best plays, but that's not how it works here. We had the Giants minus a half on the first five money line going up against the Tigers. Hayden Birdsong didn't have the day that I thought he was going to have out there. I think he gave up 5 runs, maybe 3 runs, but it didn't matter because the Giants only answered with 2 runs themselves. I think they lost 5-2 on the first five there. We had Tyler Glasnow under 2.5 runs against the Pirates. Did his job, only gave up 2 runs, went 6 innings, 98 pitches in that game. And then Josh Naylor over 1.5 bases, single in the second at bat. And then usually, as you guys know, if you get a single in your first two at bats, you're probably not going to hit. So that one did not cash over 1.5 base going against Twins. Graphics, we swept the day. Braves minus half on the first five. Got a little bit dicey in the bottom of the fourth, but Spencer Schwellenbach did his job, got us out of it. Braves win it by 1 in the first 5 innings. We had Jorge Soler over 1.5 bases against the Rockies. Played that at over 2.5. Didn't matter. He had 2 home runs in the game. And then Tyler Fitzgerald, first at bat, hit a double going up against Montero and the Tigers. So the graphic plays did really well. Best plays, not so much. 1-2 day. Here is the leaderboard. 0-1 on the game pick, 1-1 the player props. Still 9 games above 500 since the All-Star break. Looking to do a little bit better today on Monday. Let's take a look at the plays for today. We're going to start with the Cleveland Guardians going up against the Chicago Cubs. I have my nemesis back on the mound, Kyle Hendricks, and I've stayed away from him for as long as I possibly can because this is going to be a really good matchup for the Cleveland Guardians. Out of respect for Kyle Hendricks, because I don't want him to do any antics on me this time around, I'm going to just take the Guardians team total over 4.5 runs. If he feels like winning this game for the Cubs in a shootout, go for it. I will not mess with him anymore. I'm taking the team total over 4.5 for the Guardians as the play here. For some reason, whenever I go head-to-head against Kyle Hendricks, a guy who has nearly a 7 ERA, he turns into a Cy Young candidate. But the Guardians are coming off a really good game going up against the Twins. They put up 5+ runs in that game, and I think they're going to do the exact same thing in this one. They have been pretty good against the sinker this season, and the big-name players like Jose Ramirez, Steven Kwan, Josh Naylor, David Fry, those guys at the top of the lineup, they're hitting that pitch very well this season. We also have most of these guys hitting the changeup this season very well. And that sinker and that changeup is going to be what we're going to be seeing out of Kyle Hendricks for the majority of the game. Kyle Hendricks and that sinker, it doesn't get up to 90 miles per hour nowadays. His average pitch for that sinker, it's 88 miles per hour. Usually what is a really good changeup for Kyle Hendricks isn't the same this season because there's not a huge difference in the velocity, only throwing that pitch 82, only a 6-mile-per-hour difference. The Guardians, they're a very good hitting team this season. They're going to be able to pick up on Kyle Hendricks early and often, and I'm going to take them to go over 4.5. If you're looking for a side out of respect again to Kyle Hendricks, I'm taking the Cubs. Honestly, the Chicago Cubs, they've been playing a lot better baseball. They're scoring runs over the last couple of weeks for the first time, and it feels like the entire season. If you can get the bats hot for this team, it's possible. Not saying they will, but it is possible that they can make the playoffs. The bats have been the problem all season long. They just need to get the bats hot. Pitching's been pretty good this season for the Cubs. Just get the bats hot. They've got a chance to make the playoffs. I would take them in this game with Kyle Hendricks on the mound, but I'm going to take the Guardians over 4.5 team total as the play. Hopefully we get a shootout in that game. For the player props on the screen, we're going to be going with Ian Happ in this game. Over 1.5 base going up against the Guardian. Ian has been locked into the plate for the Cubs over the last month and a half, and he's really picked up his production, including a ton of RBIs over the past month. He is still only hitting 230 on the season, but it's a very efficient 230, having most of his hits go for extra base hits or home runs. This is going to be a matchup going up against Ben Lively, and he does have a home run problem this season. He's given up 19 and 4 over the last 3 games. Ian on the season does have 34 extra base hits going up against right-handed pitching, and while he doesn't hit right-handed pitching better than left-handed pitching, that's where he gets most of his power this season. Give me his over 1.5 bases here as the play. For the best play of the day, we're going to be looking at 2 teams that I talked about yesterday as my 2 plays. We're going to be looking at the Atlanta Braves going up against the San Francisco Giants. We have the 2 aces on the mound for this game, and I'm going to love every single second of this one. Both of these teams have been picking it up a little bit at the plate over the last several weeks, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of action at the plate in this game. We're going to have Chris Sale on the mound for the Atlanta Braves going up against Blake Snell for the San Francisco Giants. I would love to see a 1-0 game in this one. I'm taking the under 7.5 runs as the play. The numbers for Chris Sale this season, they've been fantastic for the Braves. I believe he's still the favorite or close to the favorite to win the Cy Young in the NL. He's coming in with a 2.75 ERA and a flat one whip. He has been going through a couple tough battles over the last several games, giving up 2 runs in 3 consecutive. But the great thing about Chris Sale is he's never going to pitch your team out of the game. Over the last 10 appearances for him, he has not given up over 3 runs in 10 consecutive games. That actually goes a little bit further back, probably. And this guy, he's been a strikeout machine as well. 165 strikeouts on the year, more times than not. Chris Sale, he's going to be able to go 6+, even 7+ innings, striking out 8+ batters, giving up under 2 runs, and that's exactly what I'm looking for in this game. On the other side, it's going to be Blake Snell for the Giants, and this guy, he's made a complete turnaround since the start of July. He was going into July with a 10.42 ERA. I thought he was done for the season, but the Giants, they brought him back. They stayed with him, and in return, he had 4 games giving up 0 runs and 2 games giving up a total of 5 runs. So that means over the last 6 games, he's only given up 5 total runs. He did struggle a little bit going up against my Nationals. As everybody knows, they're one of the best team in baseball. He allowed 3 runs in that game, but that was after his no-hitters. So that was kind of the law of averages going into effect going up against the Cincinnati Reds. And I think the most impressive thing over the last 3 games has been the strikeouts for Blake. He had 15 against the Rockies, 11 against the Reds, and 8 in his last game against the Nationals. If there's like a combo bet out there that you guys can take for the strikeouts for these 2 guys combined, I would smash that. I think both of these guys are going to go for 8+. I love the pitching duel we're going to be seeing in this game. I think both guys are going to battle it out for at least 6 innings. Give me the under here, 7.5 runs as the play for the player prop on the screen. Really don't want to take anybody, so I'm not going to take anybody. I'm not going to take anybody in this game. I gave you guys a couple players on the screen. You can go look at it. I think the numbers are really good. Tyler Fitzgerald the other day, he started the game off for the Giants in that 2 spot. I believe he hit in the 2 spot yesterday. He started off with a double. Marcell Ozuna for the Braves. He's been really good all season long, but I'm not confident in either of these plays on the graphic side. So we're just going to stick with the 2 graphic plays for today. Not going to touch anybody in that one, but we are going to go over to the best props of the day. We're going to be looking at one of the best players in baseball, Shohei Ohtani, to go over 1.5 bases going up against the Brewers. And there's no doubt about it that Ohtani may be the best player that we've ever seen in baseball. He's definitely not the best gambler we've ever seen, but I do think he's going to do well in this game going against Freddie Peralta. Freddie this season for the Brewers, he is their ace. Everybody looks at this guy as their ace to go out there and shut down the other opponent, but that has not been the case for him over the last several games. He has now given up a total of 9 runs and 5 home runs over the last 3 games that he's been in, going up against the Marlins and the Braves twice. That has brought his ERA back up to over 4 for the second time this season, sitting at 4.02 with a 1.22 whip. And that's the kind of what we've been seeing out of Freddie over the last 6 or 7 games. He's had 4 games over the last 6 that he's given up 3+ runs. Giving up runs is one thing, but looking at player props, it's always about the hits. And he's been giving up a lot of hits as well, giving up a total of 17 over the last 3 games and 6+ in 3 of the last 5 games. He's still trying to work himself out of this rut he's been in over the last 7 games. And going up against the Dodgers, probably not the way to get out of it. Ohtani's getting a really good matchup here. We're going to see the fastball and the slider nearly 80% of the time in this game, and he crushes those pitches. It's also a great matchup because he's getting a right-hander on the mound. He's hitting .310 on the season with 52 extra base hits. Against that fastball, he's touching nearly 300 batting average, 282, and against the sliders, a 325 batting average. It could be a disaster in this game for Freddie Peralta if he leaves a couple over the play for Ohtani. Give me him over 1.5 bases here as the play. For the pitching prop today, we're going to be looking at the Kansas City Royals. Give me Brady Singer to go under 2.5 runs going up against the Twins. If you guys have been following baseball and listening to the channel for a little bit, maybe you just keep up with the stats on the season for these teams. You know that the Minnesota Twins, they are a much better team going up against left-handed pitching than they are right-handed pitching. I do think the Twins are a pretty good team this season, but they definitely prefer left-handed pitching, and I think we have an advantage in this game having Brady Singer on the mound. This will be a get-right spot for the young man. The Kansas City Royals is coming off one of his worst performances of the season, going up against the Red Sox, giving up 10 hits and 4 runs, going 5 2/3 innings. That now makes back-to-back games for him, giving up against both Sox teams, giving up combined 7 runs and 16 hits over those 2 games. That has brought his ERA back above 3 as well this season, sitting at 3.03 with a 1.19 whip, but I think we're getting a bounce-back start here. Before those 2 games, he was very good besides, once again, one start against the Red Sox. He'd given up 1 run or less in 6 of his previous 7 games before these last 2 starts. The Twins this season, they are pretty consistent going up against that sinker, but they are not a very good team going up against a slider this year. They have a few injuries in that lineup as well, and some of their better players won't be playing in this game, and only a handful of guys can really hurt Brady in this game, in my opinion. Also, in the very little data that we have this season for him going up against the Twins, it was early in the season. He was able to go 7 innings. He struck out 10, only gave up 3 hits. He has been pretty good against the Twins over the last 2 starts, so I'm going to trust him in this game to go under the 2.5 runs as the play. Let's go over to the graphic recap. We're going to take the Guardians. Team total over 4.5 going up against the Cubs there. Ian Happ over 1.5 bases going up against the Guardians and Ben Lively. We've got the under 7.5 runs between the Braves and the Giants. That might be under 7 by now whenever this comes out. We're going to take Brady Singer under 2.5 runs going up against the Twins, and then Shohei Ohtani over 1.5 bases going up against the Brewers. Guys, that's going to do it for the MLB picks and props for Monday, August 12th slated games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.